Hey, 1st of April 2020, Day 6, COVID-19, lockdown, South Africa. We're almost a third of the way through this lockdown. We've got over 1,300 cases, tested cases, and we've had 5 deaths. According to our Minister of Health, we're not doing as badly as anticipated. So that's a positive to listen to. And when you look around the world, I watched the news early on, and in one of the countries, it was over 800 in one day. So yes, coronavirus kills, and how do we deal with it? The book I'm going to be looking at today, I received it from a very special lady. When I turned 60, she came to my gratitude dinner, and she gave it to me, and she said to me that when she turned 60, somebody gave it to her. And she hopes that the day would come when I would hand this treasure down to somebody else. So I have this book, and it's called Something More, Excavating Your Authentic Self. And it's by Sarah Ban Breathnach. And I turned to page 19 this morning, which I actually did deliberately because I turn to page 19 quite often since I've got this book. And it makes very good reading. And page 19 is when the student is ready. Now, we've heard that so many times: when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And a lot of us take it very literally, and that's not what it is. This is about excavating our authentic self. And you can learn from the harsh experiences in life as you do from the soft. And as Carolyn Kenmore says at the beginning of this chapter on page 19, she says, if you can learn from hard knocks, you can also learn from soft touches. Now, we're at the time where we're having or claiming to have many spiritual lessons. And, these spiritual lessons come in different ways, and they're soul-directed events, if we can look at it that way. Because there's a lot of talk about, instead of going outside, go inside. And as literal as that might seem, there is some value in that. These events can sometimes feel as if we are in some kind of a fog. And in order to steer through that fog, you have to manage that fog. You have to manage your movement through it. And you have to manage the tasks to keep you on track. So looking at that, this is our time of misfortune and hard knocks. And we're all authors of our own destiny and, our own future. And we've got time. So what I'd like to touch on today is, how do we use time during a crisis and during a lockdown and when we're restricted? I'm going to be touching on the 3 P's of time management, and this is according to what Dr. Karen Garman's article on time management speaks about. And the 3 P's are planning, procrastination, and priorities. Now, vision without action is a daydream because you're doing nothing about it. But action without vision is unplanned. It's like a nightmare. You really don't know where you're going. It's like when you look at the human brain and somebody who, before coming to a counselor, if you look at many different colors of wool all tangled up, that's the way their thoughts are. And then you need to take that and to put each one into its compartment. The same with time. I'm not suggesting that you get up in the morning and, say to your family, well, breakfast from this time to this time, that. Of course, if you've got students in your home and they're school students and there's internet learning taking place and learning management systems are on, even for universities, etc., then you have to adhere to that. But I'm talking about generally, how do we manage time? Can we manage time? I think it's put very loosely to say we can manage time. We can manage how we use it. We can manage our tasks. But as far as actually managing that time is moving. It's not waiting for anybody. And the tasks that you allocate to the time either gives it value or makes it useless. So planning, you need to find time to do this, because planning is what's going to get you through this fog. For students, you need to create schedules. I suggest you do. You need to look at your weakest subject. Now, I'll tell you why the weakest subject when I bring on the second P, which is priorities. Right? I won't do procrastination, but I'll do priorities and procrastination, and I'll overlap them. Now, priorities, very often, not everything that you do has the same importance. So, how do you figure out which one has the most importance? Now, if you're a student and you're trying to up your math mark or your science mark or whatever mark you're trying to up because you know what you want to do post grade 12, you need to prioritize that. Unfortunately, the things that deserve priority are often things that we don't like. So, how do we handle that? Okay, the way I would look at it, and also the way Karen Garman's article, advises that you look at it. When you are planning your time and you're prioritizing, you take what you don't like the most and you do that first. Once that is done, you have less anxiety and you can go ahead doing the other things. So place what you really don't like doing first and proceed from that. Okay? It also helps you to know that that's behind you and you can face the rest of the day. At the end of each day, try to take stock of what you've done. It's useless doing all this if you're not going to sit and tick the boxes. We're in a situation now where we have to do these things. And this applies to people who are working from home as well. Not all of us like the things we do. I hate printing forms and filling them by hand. But there are some things that I have to do because I have to scan them and send them in. It's actually one of the worst things I hate doing. So what I do is I get all my printing done, do all my filling in, sign where I have to sign, scan them in, email them off, and that's done. I'm somebody who prefers technology and I prefer sitting at my computer and working or at any other device that I might use. Unfortunately, I've just grown so much into the fourth industrial revolution that it's become very much part of me. And I'm just grateful for internet, and we have a good internet connection, so that's good. Now, you at the end of the day, you tick your boxes, right? Because you've planned your day. And then you write a short statement to yourself, a statement of encouragement. Like, it's good, I've done this for today, or I've achieved this. Or even, I've achieved this and I need to achieve more. But either way, but something to make you feel good because it's your tasks that you have allocated to this time that is moving and you've used this time profitably. And what you do after that is you plan the next day. Now, you don't do this at the end of the day when you're falling off to sleep. We're too tired to be doing things at that point in time. When you think you've done your formal tasks for the day, that's when you do this. Very important is leisure time. You need to control your leisure and work. You need to have a balance between leisure and work. And be mindful of the people that you share space with, because not everybody is, available at the same time to do the same things you want. So perhaps consider that you're living with people. If you're living alone and you enjoy living alone and this is what you've loved all the while, then this lockdown is not making much of a difference to you. If you're somebody who's always done work from home or, you've used the internet for your work and things like that, contacting clients and training or whatever, this is not going to make much of a difference to you. But my concern is those who are living together, the students, the workers. Work still has to be done. There's no ways that with COVID-19, you're going to be let off lightly for not achieving certain tasks. They have to be done. You have to pass at school. It's not going to suddenly mean, well, you were at home and we didn't give this to you and you didn't get this done and you didn't get that done. Excuses are not going to get you through this. This is the time for you to build your courage and build your strength. Of course, when you're sharing your space, right, understand that even the time that you're interacting with people, use it wisely because it's really necessary. It's time you might never get again, It's we're taking this for granted in many cases. Now, I'd like to end off with a saying by Earl Nightingale, and South Africans watching this, you know that we had Earl Nightingale on one of our radio programs, and he used to be such an inspiration in the mornings. I think it was in the mornings at 7 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. But these are his words on time. Don't let the fear of the time it will take to accomplish something stand in your way of doing it. The time will pass anyway. We might just as well put that passing time to the best possible use. If you'd like to get hold of me and perhaps send me an email on how you feel, engage with me on WhatsApp about this, here you go. Here's my details. You're more than welcome to WhatsApp me, not to call me because I won't take your calls unless they're urgent. But yeah, let's start chatting about this and tell me how you're coping. It's always nice to share, and in sharing, we're going to grow and we're going to empower each other. So much love. God bless you and have a pleasant 6th day. Beautiful weather, 18 degrees outside, absolutely lovely. My kind of weather, I'm waiting for it to get colder. God bless you. Till we meet again, may God forever hold you in the palm of his hands.